Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm playing Mage Noir, which is a 1v1 dueling card game that also has a solo mode with one expansion. And disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of this one. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month that you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Mage Noir was actually sent to me a while back, but I had never broken it out and played it. Then I saw that they had a new crowdfunding campaign that's currently active, so I wanted to give it a try, and I do have some thoughts. I'm actually going to do a very different video than I usually do. I really like the competitive play of this one, so I'm going to kind of show you a little bit, or maybe I'll do a full one. It's pretty quick. A full game of a competitive mode play. I'm just going to control both characters and kind of ignore what I know about the other player's hand. And then I'm going to show you the solo mode, because honestly, I think the solo mode is not as good as the competitive play. But for those who are considering this new crowdfunding campaign, I wanted you to kind of have a full picture of the game and help you out as much as I can with that. I will note, though, that I am just using starting decks, which is going to impact how well I do in the solo mode and how the competitive game goes. So keep that in mind. So in this one, I've got the basic fire deck, Burning Wrath, versus the basic green plant deck, Surging Growth. And the first thing you do in the game, and I think it's kind of cool, I don't think I've seen this before, is you draw 2 5-card hands, and you pick which one you want to keep and shuffle the other one back into the deck. I'm going to keep this one. I'll explain why and what I'm doing as the game goes on. And over here, I really need seed cards to get anything going with my deck, so I'm going to keep that one. And the core idea of the game is very Magic the Gathering-ish, is that you each start with 20 life. It's a die, but for some reason they have a symbol for the 20. And if you get the other player down to 0 life before they get you down to 0 life, or if their deck runs out before your deck runs out, well, that's not going to happen very often, then you win. Well, let's jump right into our first player's turn, kind of talk through what's going on with these cards and how the game goes. So normally you would start your turn by drawing a card, but the first player does not do that. And then we're going to take some mana cards from what's called the Infinite Ether. So just to look for a second, what do I need for my cards? You'll see I need a lot of green, purple for that one, blue for that one, blue for that one, brown for that one, but mainly a bunch of green. So let's just start out with tons of green, I think. And how it works is one of, I think, the coolest things in the game, how mana works. You pick 3 cards from among these 6 colors and 6 types. I'm going to take all green this time. And you're always creating 2 piles. And basically, there's going to be a pile for you and potentially a pile for your opponent. And you alternate to the cards. You'll do 1 in one pile, 1 in the other, even if no cards exist in that pile. And you always have to start with the pile that has fewer cards in it, although here it doesn't matter. So here we'll do a left pile, right pile, left pile. And then you get to take one of the piles. Well, don't mind if I do. I'll take this one. And these cards then become the mana that I can play around with this turn. So let's look at our cards and what we can do with them. And actually, let me show you the seed first. So the first thing you do in your turn, I'm going to do with the seed card, is prepare it. And to prepare a card, you need to take as much mana as is indicated here and put it underneath the card. So you're basically locking that mana with that card. So one of the green mana I just got is now locked in my seed card. Once you've prepared the card, you then have 2 main actions you can do with it. Although you don't have to do them right away. You can just leave it prepared for as long as you want. But you can either activate the card, and to do that, you discard the card. It goes to your discard pile, and you resolve whatever its power is. So here I would gain 1 health point, although I can't go above 20, so that would be a waste. But yeah, that would make the card get discarded. And interestingly, whenever you activate a card, or really anytime any card goes away, like if it's a card that has health and gets killed, same thing happens, then all the mana that was underneath it goes back into the available mana piles. Once again, following the same rules of alternating, following the same rules of going into the smaller pile first. So if I activated the seed right now, that plant mana would go back into that smaller pile, which is really important to note, because as you and your opponent are pulling mana from the Infinite Ether, there's just more and more mana to go around, although it can get locked down into cards for a while. Just the mana keeps on growing, and you're going to be trading it and spending it and all this stuff. But really, that's not the point of this seed card. Instead, what I'm going to do with this is channel it, which means I just kind of turn it to its side, and I can put it over with the rest of my mana. And what does channeling do? It allows you to play better cards. Look at this animated tree, which is an awesome card. It hits my opponent for free every turn. It costs 3 green, 1 blue, but it also has this seed times 1 text right here. And that means I cannot prepare this card unless I have that many cards with those words somewhere in their title. So this could also have been Blooming Seed, and it would still count as a seed card. If I don't have those prereqs, then I can't play this seed times 1 card. So the game is sort of about like building up your engine and getting cards down to like be able to play your better cards. So next turn, I'll work with my one remaining plant, and maybe if I can get some blue and green to maybe get this tree out. And that's the end of my turn. You can declare the end of your turn after you take as many actions as you want. But yeah, not much else to do right now. Okay, so now we come to our red player, and they do get to draw a card. Only the first player does not get one. Actually, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. Because you'll see flame times 1, flame times 2, flames times 1. Almost every card in the red deck needs flames to cast it. And I had flame cards, flame projectile as one, but to cast it I already needed another flame. So the fact that I got a mental flame card to let me cast other ones is really great. And this is a free card to cast, which is awesome. But let's first go into our mana. So let's see. I've got red and a lot of different things. I think I want to play the flame projectile, so that's red and blue. So with that being the case, let's grab 2 red and, again, that's not blue, like wind. Should I say the colors or should I say the elements? So yeah, 2 flame, 1 wind. And I want to get a flame and wind pile to play that one card I want. So I'm going to go 1, because you can decide whatever order to put them in like that. And I am giving my opponent a flame card, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to use. So that tends to be a good thing as well. Although you'll see in a moment, one of the actions you can take on your turn is to trade in 2 of any mana for another mana that you actually want. So even if I give them like 50 red cards, it's not going to hurt them that much. Okay, so yeah, I'm taking the air and flame. And yeah, to get anything really going, I need to use a flame card. So I'm going to prepare mental flame. It costs nothing. It says, while channeled as a component, at the start of your turn, pay 1 fire mana or discard this card. So it's going to be a very cheap way to provide me that flame keyword while it's channeled, while it's tilted to let me play other cards. But it's going to be expensive to make it stick around long. So what I want to do is get a more permanent flame card, and this flame projectile, while it's much harder to play, is beautiful for that. Yes, I could activate it for 3 damage, but I'd rather just get a permanent flame keyword out. Because the key thing with the flame cards is that most of them like burn out or hurt you to keep them around, or do other things like this mental flame one. So flame projectile is beautiful, and that's way simpler. So I'm going to prepare that for free, channel it into a component, and then play flame projectile with both of these and channel that into a component. And then I'll just let go of the mental flame. But now I've got locked in a permanent flame card that should be helping me for a while. Although, again, note that like my mana is trapped now. So I don't have that wind and flame anymore to help me out. All right, end of my turn. All right, now green is getting 1 card. We got 2 copies of Druid Horns. So yeah, here, I'll walk through the cards for the second turn so you can kind of see what's going on. So animated tree requires a seed, needs 3 green and 1 blue. It's a permanent, so when you prepare it, it just hangs around. And in this case, it has life, so my opponent can hit it for 3 damage and get rid of it. So first it says, when put into play, discard the seed component used to cast it. So I will lose my 1 seed that I've got. And then at the beginning of each of your turns, inflict 2 damage to the opponent for free. And then you may put 1 seed from your discard pile into play prepared. So if this stays alive even a single turn, I'll be in a great place, which is maybe likely because I see that my opponent has flame components prepared, but does not have any mana saved up. And this one's got Protector. You may redirect damage the opponent controls onto this permanent. So if he like hit me with a really big spell, instead of taking it to my life total, I could have the tree take it for me. Because the big thing is that each like instance of damage doesn't have trample, as you might call it in Magic the Gathering. So if like my opponent did a 10 damage spell that would take away half of my life, I could have the tree with his 3 life take all of it. Okay, so I've got 2 of them, and then I've got some equipment. Equipment is another type of permanent. They don't have life generally, but some cards will specifically say they get rid of them. And they have certain little places they are equipped. So this is a ring, and this is head. You can only have 1 in each location, so I couldn't have 2 head items played, except for rings. You got a lot of fingers, so you can play as many rings as you want. Okay, so the Druid Ring, pretty expensive, although no prereqs. Says damage inflicted by vegetal permanents is increased by 2. So like this tree, which is, this is vegetal. That's right. So that's what they mean when they say vegetal permanents. So yeah, this tree would do 4 damage a turn instead of 2. Then this bottom says, if you're a Mage Noir, when you add mana to the available ether at the beginning of your turn, add 1 additional vegetal mana. A bunch of cards will have stronger effects if you're a Mage Noir, which is the name of the game. Or some cards can't even be played unless you're one. And there's going to be specific cards in your deck called rituals that'll let you turn yourself into a Mage Noir and often give you like other bonuses. So there's kind of like a level up you can do during play, although it's not required. Okay, then my Druid Horns. At any time, you may look at the top card of your deck. If it's a seed, show it to your opponent, put it into your hand. That's pretty dang good. Your seeds cost 1 less vegetal mana. If you're a Mage Noir, your seeds cost 0. Wow. Yeah, so actually, do I want to go for a tree right away that might get blown up? Although if it survives, I'll be in a pretty great place. I do know, even if I'm not looking at my other character's hand, I do know that Flame tends to do a lot of damage. Well, you know what? Never mind. I realize that I'm not going to be possibly able to get the mana I need to play the tree this turn anyway. But let's work toward that and, I don't know, maybe like getting the ring or something too. So yeah, I'm going to get 2 green. And I guess we'll be optimistic and get 1 water for the tree. And I'll go like boom, boom, boom. Force my opponent to be stuck with a lot of vegetal mana they might not want. So sure, I'm going to take this. And now I could trade any 2 mana cards with 1 mana from one of the piles. And how it works is you put it in the same pile and then take the card right from there. But no, here we're just going to call this a building turn because I can't afford anything yet. All right, so back to the red player. At the start of my turn, pay 1 fire mana or discard the spell. Nope, so my mental flame is gone. Then I draw a draconic flame. So this is another example of a flame card that's kind of expensive. So it only costs 2 red. It can be activated to inflict 2 damage to a target, or it can become another flame component. But it says after the spell is used as a component, you lose 1 health point. So it does stick around like the flame projectile, but as you can see, a much nastier one to use. But I do have some cards that are very powerful, like these burning robes that require 2 flame. So I might want to get like another flame projectile or the draconic flame out. And yeah, let's talk through Red's current options. So Draconic Flame, inflict 2 damage. We already heard about that. Crimson Ring will cost 1 like Earth or Rock. 1 Flame, it's a ring. Whenever you lose health points or damage is inflicted to you, you may pay 1 fire mana to inflict 1 damage to the opponent. So I can just kind of hit them back. Burning Robe. This one needs 2 flame, a red, and a green. If a fire spell you control would inflict damage to an opposing target, it deals that much damage plus 1, or 2 if you're a Mage Noir. But then it does 1 damage to you, so that could kind of kill me off pretty quickly. Flame projectile we already saw, 3 damage to any target. That'd be good enough to kill that tree that we don't know is coming, because I'm not seeing the other hand. Ha ha ha. And then Fireball. You may discard 1 fire card from your hand to prepare the spell without the required flame component, which is kind of nice. Inflict 2 damage to every permanent your opponent controls, then inflict 2 damage to the opponent, or 3 if you're a Mage Noir. Definitely want to hang on to that one because, I would know with green that they're going to be summoning a lot of people. So yeah, I think like the main things I might want to work on right now are getting another flame card out, or like playing the robes. Ooh, the robes need a green. So let's go for that. Let's start trying to get a wind and a fire. So I'll get like 1 wind, 2 fire for my 3. But I want to steal this from them, so I'll go 1. I can't do much without fire. Well, it's okay. Let's do like that. Make a pile that they won't really care about. I'm going to take all these, and then obviously like then I'm going to end my turn because I can't do much yet. But things are building up quickly. What have we got? Ephemeral Brambles needs a seed, and this one does not get rid of the seed, whereas remember the tree would. It costs 2 green. The opponent must discard 1 card in hand or lose 3 health points. They choose. And there's no ephemeral or brambles. There's usually not that many keywords that you actually need, like seeds and trees are the main ones in this one. So other things like the Druid Rings and Druid Horn might not actually help you play other cards. Okay, so if I want to get a tree out, or do I want to... Maybe I should work on the horns. But the horns I'm not even close to. The tree I am pretty close to getting out. So sure, let's pretend we don't know if the opponent is about to attack. We saw they didn't get like any red. So if I get this red, I'll probably stop them. So I need green, and then let's start getting some purple for the Druid Horns maybe. So I can go like boop, boop. Well, that would probably be too much of one thing. Let's do it like that. And then I'll grab this pile. And now we should be able to get some stuff going. So we've got a seed component. We've got a lot of mana. Let's play an animated tree. It's going to use all of our vegetal and our 1 water. And I have to discard the seed that was used to play it, which means this green goes back into the pool. But if the tree stays alive, we'll get to pull that seed back out. And boop, there's that goes. And then clearly with 3 fire, I can't do anything else. Now, again, I could trade 2 of these in with one of the piles to like get a green mana. But if I do that, I'm just basically offering up the fire guy a chance to blow me up. So I don't want to do that. But they're certainly going to try to blow me up anyway. Oh, they got a free flame. So this one is just flame, inflicts 1 damage to a target. Or if you use it as a component, you just discard it after using it. So it's a free like thing to get off a single nice spell. All right, so that tree's got 3 life. So if I can get the flame projectile, which is pretty easy, I can blow it up. Or I can do like the draconic flame and a flame. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to do the flame projectile. So I already have a win. I just need some fire. See, I'll just kind of force my opponent to play my game. Do it like that. take these. Because I know they want those, right? Well, I don't know. I guess maybe take the 2 fire. It's okay. Because I don't have anything that wants purple right now. All right. And the flame projectile needs both of those. So I'm preparing it with the 1 flame component I have. And then I'm activating it to do 3 damage to any target. So these will be returned. Let's do like that, I think. So that's 3 damage. Sorry, buddy. And all these cards get released. And they get to choose, by the way. So whoever is like the owner of the card. So I assume they would want to... I mean, they're about to get like a pile themselves, right? So it'd be like, boom. I don't know, like that maybe. All right, now I could trade in some greens to get... oh, actually, I guess I could play the Burning Robes now. But there's not any reason to do that right now. You can have up to 7 cards in your hand. So until that's happening, if like there's no immediate need to play a card, you might as well wait. So we'll just end my turn. And green is pissed because now they have no seed. So they're hoping they're going to draw one. The Sylvan Healer. Okay, when I play this, choose 1 option. Target vegetal permanent with health points gains 4 hit points because this 3 life is just a starting value. You can go as high as you want, or you gain 3 hit points. All right, let's try to get these Druid Horns out, I think. All right, so I need 3 purples. And a green. All right, so I'm going to do like that. I'm going to take the giant pile, which gets me 2 of the purples I need. And then, all right, I guess even though it's going to help them out, I'll trade in 2 of my reds to swap for the purple here. And yeah, we'll just let them get a ton of stuff next turn. So with all this, I'm going to play the Druid Hordes. So I can look at the top card of my deck, and if it's a seed, I can show it to my opponent, put it in my hand, and my seeds cost 1 less vegetal mana. Now I can just look, and is it a seed? It is not a seed. Gosh darn it. It's going to be hard for them to get anything going. Yeah, so then they've got a decent amount of stuff, but I don't want to give them any more red, so let's stop there for now. All right, no one's actually hurt each other yet. That's kind of funny. Fire Mask. At any time you look at the top card of your deck, components needed multiple times to prepare your fire spells are needed 1 less time, which is really solid. That means... like this card that needs flames times 2, it only needs flames times 1. It can't reduce it down to 0. That's a great card. And I have red and green to play it already. Yes, I'm actually like super happy with this. Let's just flame up completely. Boom, boom, boom. Giving me all of this. Yeah, let's try to start blasting some people. So I'm going to play the Fire Mask just to kind of make things a little easier. I can look at the top card of my deck. I can't do anything with it. Hey, it's a damaging card. That's cool. And then... you know what? Hey, let's get my Burning Robes out. So remember, that'll make all my spells do more damage, but also make me get damaged. Ooh, but then if I can get the rock thing, I can use the ring, and then every time I get hurt, including by my own spell, then I can hit them back, so I can just kind of chain into like 1 billion damage. Let's wait for that one, though, and let's wait for like all the flame cards. Yeah, we're in a solid place. Let's stop for now. All right, so they get this Enchanted Forest. And it's not a seed. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I think green's going to be in trouble here. So Enchanted Forest, permanent. I need 2 trees to play this. At the beginning of your turn, you and your vegetal permanents with health gain 2 health points. And then this card is itself a protector with 4. Oh, this is a vegetal permanent itself. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like that'd be insane if I got 2 trees out and then played that. But as you can see, that's probably not going to happen right now. Yeah, so crud. I'm in a bad place. Might as well just build up some mana. We're just going to do 3 green, boop, boop, boop. And then I think I want to grab this just so they don't have it because the pain is coming. The pain is definitely coming. You know, I can trade in a ton of red for other stuff, but yeah, literally none of my cards use red, whereas at least some of their cards use green. And again, these are just starter decks. Like, you wouldn't necessarily be playing these. Yeah, and the Druid Horns is a dead card because they do the same thing. Yep, I'm not gonna do anything else, I don't think, right now. I can't even play a lot of these because I don't have seeds. All right, Fireboy. Hurt me. I know that you want to hurt me. Okay. So what they need the 1 rock 1 to play the card they want. I think the rest could just be flame. Let's go like boop, 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 I guess. Or actually, maybe I want it to be like that, yeah. And then I think I'll get this pile. All right, let's play the Crimson Ring. So now whenever I lose health points or damage is inflicted on you, I may pay fire mana to do damage to the opponent. And I'm doing extra damage to the opponent. And yeah. All right, so let's try this stuff out. This should be fun. So I'm going to prepare Flame Projectile and then inflict 3 damage to any target, which is going to be 4 damage, and I'll get hurt, and a lot of stuff is going to happen, but let's put these back. I think I'll do it like that, so they're forced to have more red. So I'm going to do 4 damage to them. First Blood, they're down to, where is it, 16. And that was +1 because of the Burning Robes. But Burning Robes inflicts 1 damage to me. Now, my own damage is not boosted to myself, but I'm down to 19. And look, whenever you lose health points or damage is inflicted, you may pay 1 fire mana to inflict 1 damage to the opponent. So let's pay 1. Has to go here. But I'm actually inflicting 2 to them because my robes still apply. Well, that means I take another one. So I'm down to 18, but they're down to 14. And yeah, that's all we can do for now. I mean, I guess I could do the flame. Yeah, well, let's wait because I want to get more fire mana to fire off the rings effect and keep hitting them for 2 and 1 for myself because I'll clearly win that battle if it keeps going that way. Actually, I could trade in 4 of these for 2 fire. Now let me do like 3-5 more damage. But let's wait a turn. Like I feel like I could maybe kill them all in one go, and that'll be enough. All right, sad little green. Let's see. You got the prodigious sowing. Is there a seed on top of your deck? There's not. There's a dead tree. Gosh darn it. So yeah, this one is great, by the way. As long as this permanent is in play, up to 3 seed components you control have transmutable trees. So you can treat your seeds as trees, which would then make it super easy to play something like Enchanted Forest. But you got to keep paying stuff to keep the card in play. Yeah, I mean, I'm just in a terrible way here because I don't have any seeds to play. So what can I actually play that has meaning? The Sylvan Healer could let me gain 3 hit points, and the Druid Ring would do nothing right now. Yep, wow. So let's try to get... I already have water. Let's try to get wind. There's a wind there, but I'd rather take the bigger pile. So let's do this kind of thing and go boop, boop, boop. Get that. And then, yeah, just so I can't get straight up killed as easily, I'm going to prepare that and then activate it. So all the mana will go back and I get 3 hit points. So I'm back to 17. Yay. And then all this mana goes in. Boo. I guess I'd rather them have green because I've seen them play like all their permanents that needed green. So I don't think they would need any more anyway. Yeah, that's really about it. We're in a bad way. Again, these starting decks might not be as good with their extreme limitations based on like only a few keywords. All right, Red, let's see what you can make happen. So we knew the Fireball was coming. Oh, there's another Fireball. Fireball's super expensive, and it does 3 damage to the opponent. So yeah, it's not that great. I definitely want Flame in the mix. So like boop, boop, boop. I'll take the big pile. You know what the heck? I just want to try to get as much damage going as I can. So that's 1 and 2. I mean, at this point, I can probably tell that the green player like is in a bad way mana-wise. And then, I don't know, let's get the wind too. That gives me all of that. So first, let's prepare and activate immediately Flames. I'm going to do 2 damage to a target with the robe, take 1 myself, and then spend a fire to do 2 damage, take 1 myself. I think I'll just keep doing that for all my fire, right? That's more economical, I think, than these things. So how much damage is it? 2, 1 to me. Spend a fire from the Crimson Ring, 2, 1 to me. So that's 4-2, 6-3, 8-4, 10-5. I think I'm saying that right? And interestingly, this pile is so big that each time, since these are individual expenditures, it's all going to go there, I believe. So I bring them down to 7 life, and I'm down to 13 if I did all that correctly. And I could trade these in to like get more fire and play the Draconic Flame, but I wouldn't be able to finish them off yet, so let's just leave it. All right, you're almost dead, buddy. Let's see what we got. We got the dead tree. Is there a seed on? There's not a seed on top. My Druid Hordes are not saving me. And you have a dead tree I could play. It says permanent. If you're a Mage Noir, this has Protector, so it would just help me out. Oh, it does have tree. What was it with trees? Wasn't there like a thing that I could play? I could play Enchanted Forest. And then this has Protector. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly like the best I could do. Oh, but I don't have both dead trees. Yeah, I only have 1. So never mind. We're just doing nothing on our turn. Except honestly trying to shut down their attack possibilities. So we're going to take this giant pile of reds just so they can't. You know, we're just like sitting on all the reds in the world that they would love to have, and we could trade them in for stuff, but it's not much use yet. All right, coming back to us. So we got the Fireball, we got the Draconic Flame, which are doing like 3 damage max. Oh, shoot, I just realized. Look, Burning Robe says if a fire spell you control would inflict damage to an opposing target. Okay, never mind, I just looked, and it says that every card is a spell, so I think I did play the Crimson Ring successfully or correctly. What am I going to do for this turn? All right, I'll clearly do 3 flame. 1, 2, 3. I'll take this one, but then like trade in the water and the green to get 1 flame. And let's trade in 2 more green to get another one. So I get all the flame there is. And then I'll cast Draconic Flame to do 3 damage to them, hurt myself, and then do the whole rigmarole again. So that's going to be 3 plus 1 firing off of the ring, 5, but I lose 2. So they're down to 2 life, and let's finish them off. Because I still have my fireballs, and I still have a ton of mana, so I can do boop. Oh, sorry, that's not how it should have gone. It should have been like boop, 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 right? Yeah, then I can easily get 1, 2, fire, and fire off a fireball, and they're dead. So yeah, when you're mana screwed or not mana, just kind of keyword screwed here, then you can't get what you need and you lose. That's still not that different from other Magic the Gathering-ish games. But that's the competitive play, and I think it's pretty cool. I think the whole way mana works and how, like, as you cast spells, the mana goes back in here, and you and your opponent are, like, using the mana against each other and sometimes locking it down so they can't benefit from it. I like all of that. Now let's show you the solo mode for comparison and see what you think of it, because I definitely have thoughts. So the solo mode comes from this little Lone Mage expansion. It's just a little box. And basically, you're getting 3 decks and 3 like bosses you can fight against, and then each one has some like alternate mixes of cards to make them tougher for hard mode. I found easy mode is tough enough, at least for solo, because you can play this competitive. So I'm going to take the basic boss, the Duke, and see how we do against him. So you just get the cards indicated, and you shuffle them all up. And then it's going to be a boss turn, player turn. Boss turn, player turn. All you got to do on the boss turn generally is flip a card and then resolve some effects. And they do have a boss card that will come out and actually have a life total that you can like attack to win the game, but that is not the case at first. So generally speaking, you can't attack them very much until they make themselves vulnerable. So yeah, let's just jump in and kind of show you how it works. I'm giving the plants a second chance. Here we go. I've got a seed. I've got a dead tree. I've got an animated tree. Ritual of Decomposition. Oh, there's their ritual to become a Mage Noir. So look, 3 purple, 2 green. At the beginning of your turn, you lose 1 health point, so many of the rituals will have negative things. But during your main phase, you may destroy 1 permanent you control to inflict damage equal to its hit points to any target. So, like, if I get that 1 card that keeps on boosting my permanents, making them, like, have 5, then 7, then 9, then 11 life, this card can be, like, an instant win, basically. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely going to take that one that has the seed in the trees, and we'll just hope that the AI is not smart enough to actually kill it, although they do definitely have cards that just, like, force you to discard things. Okay, so they'll always go first, and they just flip a card. So here it says Healer's Interruption. There's actually a super lucky one. It says each of the adversary's permanents with health points gains 3 hit points. So sometimes their cards do nothing. Now, this is very important. Instead of you getting to pick 3 mana cards at the start of your turn, you don't get to do anything with mana at the start of your turn. Instead, whenever you flip the boss card, you get to take this many mana cards. So here it's going to be 4 instead of 3, so it's kind of like better than a regular turn, and I get to still do the 2-pile thing. So I really want to get the seed and the tree thing going, so let's just like do 2 piles like that. And that's it for the boss turn. And the player turn, besides skipping the mana thing, is basically the same. Ooh, Prodigious Sowing. That lets me treat seeds as trees, although I don't care about that yet because I don't have any cards that need trees. So yeah, the big thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I guess, like this pile, and I'll lock in, where is it? I'll lock in my 1 seed as a component, hang on to the water for a tree later. That's it. Okay, and boss goes again. And yeah, so this is an example of when I find the solo game frustrating, because this guy is going to come out right now. This is the boss. He has 20 life. Each adversary turn, inflict 4 damage to the player with the most health points, or 3 if they're a Mage Noir. If this is destroyed, the players win the game. And this could have been at the bottom of their deck or in the middle of their deck, so I would have had like a lot of time to build up and kick butt. But instead, now, starting next turn, I'm going to take 4 damage every single turn. Great, but I do get to put out 4 mana cards. Yes, it's probably going to be a faster game. I wanted to demonstrate how unbalanced things can be sometimes, but I didn't expect it to be that bad. So let's say I have the water for the tree, so let's just get, I guess, a lot of green. Well, I could get another water for a second tree, maybe, right? But we'll go with definitely going to get like the big pile of green. All right, so that's it. He'll start hitting me next turn. Let's get that. And we're definitely going to play our tree for 3 and 1. And just to remind you, I do have to discard the seed card used to cast it, which means the green's going to go back. And at the beginning of my turn, I'm going to start doing 2 damage to the opponent, and I can get a seed card back into play prepared. So I think it means you don't have to even pay for it, which is pretty dang awesome. If, again, the tree actually survives this time. Oh, I didn't draw a card, did I? Bark Armor. Each turn, inflict up to 1 or ignore up to 1 inflicted damage you receive from the opponent. Wow. So if I can get that into play, now that I have a tree, I'm 1 mana shy at the moment. I mean, who knows? Maybe I can survive. This is a stronger deck when it gets going than like the last one I fought this boss against. But the boss's turn starts, and I take 4 damage. I would love to play my ritual to become a Mage Noir and take 3 damage instead. Although, never mind. I forgot that it is 1 damage to me at the start of my turn anyway, so it would all kind of even out. So yeah, first the boss activates each of their cards, and then they flip a new card, sort of Aeon's End style. Okay, Accumulator is a permanent. It does not have any life, so it would be tough to get rid of. Although actually this one you can discard cards to get rid of. Every time one of the adversary's cards inflicts damage, increase the damage by 1, then lock 1 mana of any element from the infinite ether under Accumulator. Although the nice thing about it is if you can survive the damage, it like builds up mana. Then if you discard it, because you can at any time discard 2 cards, you can like get some extra mana. But notice that it has 0. There's another thing that annoys me about the solo mode, that like often the cards will add nothing to the mana, so your turn will kind of be meaningless too. Although, it does limit you to being forced to work with some of the mana you have. But yeah, it's just not always fun. It's coming back to me. I guess I'll grab that clearly. And I get to draw a card. Hostile Forest. I need 3 trees, which with prodigious growth could be theoretically possible. At the beginning of your turn, inflict X damage to any target, where X is the current health points of this permanent. Wow. It's pretty amazing if I could get that into play. Seems like I won't have enough time. My tree does do 2 damage to the boss. And then I automatically get this prepared, and I will make it into a component, right? All right, so I'd like to get another animated tree out. But first, I really want that bark armor. So let's go ahead and prepare that. So that's a torso equipment that's going to protect me. And that used up pretty much all my mana again. Yay. Oh, and I definitely want to get rid of that, don't I? What 2 can I discard? I guess if I have prodigious sowing, I don't really need the dead tree. Although if I keep the dead tree and become a Mage Noir, that would help me out. I mean, all this is assuming that I have time to do all of that. Well, yeah, the Mage Noir thing seems kind of crazy. Let's get rid of both of these. So that'll kill this one. Okay, so they do 3 damage to me instead of 4 because of my bark armor. Yay. So I'm down to 13. And then they're playing another accumulator. So once again, I get no mana, which means this is all I can play with. I do get to play a card or draw a card. Sylvan Healer. It's definitely not happening. Yeah, I can't afford anything, not even the dead tree right now. But I do get to do 2 damage to them, and that's it. I don't have any seeds to pull into. All right, so they're down to 16. And then I guess I'll discard 2 cards again. The healer and the dead tree, maybe. All right, back to them. I take 3 damage. I'm down to 10. And Ether Explosion. Return the largest mana pile in the available ether to the infinite ether, which is 0. Inflict X damage, where X is the amount of mana returned this way. And then we get 0 more mana. So once again, we are locked out of mana. We hit this guy for 2. So he's down to, 14? We draw Enchanted Forest. Okay, I actually have great combos here. I just don't have any mana to play them. So yeah, I'll skip my turn. He hits me. I'm down to 7. And hey, that's good. I mean, he gets 3 hit points back, but I get 4 mana to actually play with. So that's something. Might be a little too late. All right, so what do I really want here? I guess I want to get another animated tree out. But I shouldn't forget, I can kill my trees if I need to. So first I get a draw. Now it's another ritual decomposition. And then I want to work towards a second tree and then Enchanted Forest. So let's maybe do like 3 green and a blue. And yeah, we'll just divide them up and I'll get this because that's enough to play a second Enchanted Tree. So now I'm doing 4 damage a turn and they're only doing 3, but I'm also way behind damage-wise. At least there's some mana I can draw into, so we'll see how this goes. All right, yeah, so they hit me down to 4. I don't want to use my trees to block it yet. Oh, I didn't show this last time, but you have like health points you can use to mark your characters. So like if they go up to 5 or 7 from playing that other card, then I can show it. All right, and what else are we doing? Tainted Ray. Inflict 3 damage to the player with the fewest health points, because again, this could be co-op. 2 if they're a Mage Noir. I'm going to get some mana, though. I guess I'll just take it with my bark armor. I'm down to 2, because again, I don't want to kill my trees yet. Oh, wait. Each turn, ignore up to 1 inflicted damage. Okay, so never mind. If I took... Well, I'll still take it. I'll go down to 1, because that way I can keep my trees for a second longer, and then I can start having them be the ones who get hit. And I'm doing 3 mana, which I guess would be best like this. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough to play Enchanted Forest, which means I'm pretty much done. I do hit them for 4 damage at the start of my turn. I draw another Enchanted Forest I can't pay for. But I'll get the bigger mana pile, and even though my tree is going to die, I'll at least release some mana when they do. Yes, I'm not playing anything. I can't afford anything yet. All right, so they try to hit me for 4 damage. I'll let the full 4 go through and not technically use my bark armor yet. Oh, no, it's you receive, not your trees. Okay, so if a tree dies, but I get to release their stuff. Let's see. I just need 1 more water, so I guess that's like the best way to do it. Okay, and then their actual card. Another, oh god, Ether Explosion. Okay, so they take the larger pile, return all of this, and we have to distribute 4 damage. So that's the best I can do is 3 and then block the last one. So I am technically alive, but only for a moment. Because, yeah, there's not much I can do. So my last card draw is, it's another tree. I could, yeah, we're just going to call it here. So yeah, a quick review of the solo mode, as you can probably tell. crazy swinginess with when like their really nasty cards come out. Now, I think they want you to deck build to like face against certain things, because I will say like this guy's pretty basic, but like one of the bosses, they just put out tons of equipment that keeps on damaging you. So if you make a point of building your deck to have equipment removal, then clearly like you'll have an easier time with it. But it does mean that I think for the tougher bosses, you are like kind of required to build your deck a certain way, which is not my preference for kind of like solo modes for these kind of games. But you saw, like, yeah, the swinginess is terrible sometimes. The mana screwage and, like, being unable to do much of anything interesting is pretty bad. I think all of that would be better. I've not played this with more than 2 players, but I think all of that might be better with, like, 3 or 4 players and a bigger player count game, because that way you're balancing out the mana coming out. I mean, although you're all, like, splitting it between yourselves, and that mana explosion thing is still going to get rid of it. But then, like, as all your cards are dying, like, more mana is going in the mix, and you have, like, more life to spread around. Although the boss gets a turn before each of their turns, so he'd be hitting every single player for 4 damage every turn. Long story short, this is why I wanted to make the video in case you're looking at the Mage Noir crowdfunding campaign. I think it is a pretty cool take on the competitive dueling format, but for our audience, if you are like focused on solo and co-op, I think there are definitely some issues here that you could maybe house rule away, like maybe if I put the Duke in the bottom half of the deck, or like you always got a little bit of mana every turn or something, I might like this better. But yes, as it is, this solo mode is definitely not my favorite, but hey, your results may vary, so you can go check out the crowdfunding page and see what you think. I do think the actual competitive game is cool, the art is great, all that stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. Willie MF, Nick Skeen, Pedro Lucas, Steve Wren, Miles, and Wayne Scott. Good gaming, and we'll see you at the next stop.